Welcome back. Hey, so it's been a few months, about 3 or 4, since we last spoke. A lot of things have happened, and a lot of reasons why I have been non-existent on YouTube and social media. Life has its silly turns all the time. And unfortunately, this silly turn took my time away from other priorities. As you see, it's a little cold here. Winter came early, as it always does in Vermont. It just comes whenever it feels like it. Last year at this time, it was like 60 degrees outside. It was beautiful. This year, not so lucky. We kind of got the crappy end of the stick this year. So, as you all saw in my last video, I was working on the Ram. And as you can all tell, it's no longer here. Rams that have the Hemi in them from 08 to, this has been past 2016, I've heard of this issue, have lifter issues. Now, for some of you who are not very common with motors and how they work and all that great stuff, a lifter rides on top of your camshaft, and those cool little lobes on your camshaft is what makes your lifter go up and down. Your lifter actually moves your valve. And as you all know, your valves help bring air in and push the exhaust out and all this other great stuff. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Well, these lifters on a Dodge Ram Hemi, and the only reason I say it's a Dodge Ram Hemi is because the older, Gen 1 Hemis were a heck of a lot better motor, built better, and are the crown jewel of Hemis. Because these new Hemis to me, are not Hemis. They're just a junk version created by Dodge to make everybody feel like they had this huge, powerful engine, but really it's just a ticking time bomb. Now, I come from a Mopar family, so it doesn't pay me to say this at all, that I would never buy another current or anything newer than a late 90s Dodge vehicle, because they are not made the Dodge way. They're not made like they used to be. And as a technician, I will tell you that there's a lot of problems with them, especially the Hemis. The Hemis have a lot of issues. And this one here cost me over $700 out of my own pocket. Now, this exact repair can cost upwards of $4,000 to $5,000 for a shop to do it, because it is a very time-consuming and expensive process. The parts alone usually range between $700 to $2,000, and you got $2,000 to $3,000 worth of labor on top of that, because it takes a long time. It took me literally a full weekend to tear down the motor, replace the cam, replace the lifters, and put it all back together. And for me, that's easy because I had the tools. Some I had to buy, some I had to loan from AutoZone, who was a huge help. I know a lot of you like different part stores. I don't care. Each part store has its own great parts and bad parts. So anyways, these lifters have a roller at the bottom of them, and they have needle bearings in them. Needle bearings are these tiny little rods of metal that are pretty well, you line them up inside of a piece of a product, and they become a bearing. Well, they're made of cheap metal, like most of what the newer Dodges are made out of. Completely just cheap metal all around the whole truck. The bodies are cheap. The frames are a little bit better metal. I will say that because the frame on this truck, it was a 2012 with 95,000 miles on it. Barely had surface rust on the frame. And it was only around like certain areas where the rocks and stuff had scraped against it. It pained me. It pained me to get rid of this truck, only because of the frame. Because here in Vermont, frames rot out so quick. So do bodies. So anyways, the needle bearings go bad, and then the little roller gets stuck, and it destroys your cam, and I mean destroys it. Now, when we first started diagnosing, all the diagnostic tests that we ran came out to be not a lifter. Only the sound was a lifter. So I had it sent down to a very reputable shop, and took care of checking all the solenoids, all the injectors, everything, to make sure that I wasn't going to be spending over $700 in parts and an entire weekend of my life working on this truck. Just find out that's not what it was. After further inspection, removing a head, and the shop telling me, I did the head removal after the shop. The shop told me, hey, everything works, the computer's fine. Tore the head off that I thought was going to be the problem, and it was. I pulled the lifter out. I'll put a video in there right about now. So I wanted to show you a little video of the camshaft I've been talking about. This is a camshaft out of the truck, and from a distance it doesn't look bad. If you get your VVT oiling, little hot spot there, nothing major on these. They're actually in pretty decent shape. This is a problem I found. The lifter for this one was fine, so I'm guessing there's a forging issue with the camshaft. Don't know what could have caused that. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Other than that, these lobes look pretty good. We'll flip it here. We'll start from the top here. There's the back of the motor. This is the number 8. Pretty much all this, most of this is dirt. Sorry for the shaky camera. That one's getting eaten up a little bit too, right there. This has not been dropped. This has been in this box since it got taken out. And then boom, there's the lifter failure. And later I'll show you the lifter itself. But yeah, that's what happens when you have a roller lifter failure. You don't catch it in time. The rest of them actually look pretty good. But I'm not the only one with this problem, and it seemingly is a problem. So the rest of the video will be made on a different day, but I want to get this videoed before I ship it back for the core. So yeah, not good. Alright, so here's your lifter that causes some issues. This is an MDS. That's what that little hole there above my thumb is for. It's an oil passage, so that right there drops. Instead of pushing the push rod, it actually drops into the cylinder, so that way you're not running that cylinder. Great idea for fuel mileage, but it doesn't work with these. Now, as you can see here, that's a lot of movement. She's pretty worn out. If you watch, you can actually see a flat spot here, a couple of them. But yeah, that's not what you want right there. And all it is little tiny needle bearings are inside that wheel. It causes all your nightmares. One of these ranges anywhere from $28 to $78, depending on if it's MDS or non-MDS and who you get it from. A set of these from Dodge right now is going to be anywhere from $200 to $300, and that's 4. That's 4. There's 4 in a set. But yeah, that is what caused the cam failure. Was this beauty? Yeah, not a fan. So yeah, on to the rest of the video. So as you saw, the lifter was crap. The cam was crap. Put it all back together, the truck ran great. Probably the best it's ever run since we owned the damn thing. But it was months of diagnosing because, I don't have a whole lot of time. My wife's doing college, plus her business. I work all the time, family events, guard events. So, time was constrained, and it took away from that beautiful thing. Still got normal oil changes. She's up for another one already. But yeah, so it's gone. We traded it in for a 2013 Highlander. I'm a Toyota guy. I love Toyotas. I love anything Japanese because they're way ahead of everybody else. Yes, they can use some cheap metal here and there, and they've had their recalls. Everybody's had their recalls. Everybody does. I mean, if you all heard about the new Duramax lawsuit for Duramax pulling the same crap that Volkswagen did a few years back with their diesels, it's everywhere. don't matter who you go with now. You're gonna run into recalls, bull crap, just stupid stuff. Subaru and Toyota have always treated me well. I know what to expect from Toyotas. I know what to expect from Subarus. I'd rather have a vehicle that I know where the problems are, no matter how expensive they are, than have a vehicle that I didn't even realize was gonna have this issue. Dodge does not want to recognize this issue whatsoever. Even though the lifters that I needed for the truck, I couldn't get them from Dodge themselves because they're 12,000 units in back order right now. So unless you have a dealership around you that have MDS lifters, multiple displacement system lifters, good luck, Chuck. You're gonna have to go and get the MDS Delete kit, which is $1,000 up. And the only lifters that can really handle any kind of driving in a Hemi, and it's just daily driving, daily use, is a Hellcat lifter. And I've done my research. You can all do your research too, but I've been researching this thing for 5 months. And I have found that the Hellcat lifters are the only ones that can handle any kind of daily driving, abuse, or anything of that nature. And it has to be non-MDS. The MDS system is crap. They have it in Chevys, Dodges, Fords. They're everywhere. It's sickening. And I think it's a waste of money because you're literally going to have to spend more money fixing it than you are saving in gas mileage. So for the car, we are going to get back to working on the car eventually. We got to get caught back up because I spent $700 that I didn't have to fix that truck so we can get my family into a safer, more reliable, and cheaper vehicle to fix. As you can all tell, the braids are gone for now. I didn't have the money at the time. We had a winter storm coming. I needed to quickly swap the tires over, and the winters are already on the stock rims. So eventually, when I have the time and the money, I'm going to have these taken off and then use my free swap with Town Fair Tire to get my winter tires swapped onto the braid wheels. Those braid wheels can handle any kind of weather, any kind of conditions, and don't think that I took them off because I don't want to hurt them. They're made to get beat up, and I miss them, honestly. Yeah, the car does look good with darker rims, but it's just not my style. I like to be out there, show that car off. She's dirty. It's supposed to be a rally car. It's not supposed to be clean. It's supposed to be dirty. So that's a little update on where I've been, why we haven't been making videos, and we are going to get back into it. Even though winter's here, you all know that I don't care what the weather is. I'm going to get the work done. So yeah, we didn't make a lot of the car shows we wanted to. We missed quite a few at the end there, dealing with the Ram. For all of you who own a Ram, please make sure you look into it. If you hear any kind of metallic squeaking or pinging in the engine bay, get it checked out immediately, because you could actually save yourself a lot of money if you catch it right off and not have to replace the cam. You just have to replace the lifters. It takes an extra 4 hours to replace the cam, and yeah, you don't want to deal with that. It's not fun. It wasn't easy. I did it out here. It was cold. It was like 40 degrees and raining both days. I even had canopy to keep me dry so I could get this truck done and trade it in a few days later. Nothing wrong with the truck. The truck ran perfect. It was going to continue running perfect till the next lifter went. Yeah, it sucked. And it sucked not being able to do videos for you guys. It sucked not being able to get out to those car shows and those car meets and have some good cruises and stuff. But family comes first. And I was sick of leaving my family out of the vehicle. It got so bad that I had to actually get my wife a rental car for 4 days so that she could, when I was gone for 4 days, that she had something to drive, because she'd been driving my car. So if you saw me on the road, saw my car, and the person in the seat didn't wave to you, that wasn't me, that was my wife. I apologize for her. She apologizes too. She didn't realize the Subaru Wave was a thing. So with all that being said, we're going to get back into things here soon. So stay posted, stay warm, drive safe, and keep it between the ditches.